Hello, welcome to Jerry Out. I'm Josh.
And I'm Jonas.
And this is Jerry, and today we are talking about a highly...
He's just like,
hey, how's it going?
yeah, he's just in the middle of saying, what's up?
Yeah, I think he's looking intensely on the other side of the room.
Maybe he's checking himself out in the mirror.
There is a mirror there.
There
that's
is a
true.
mirror there.
Oh my god.
Anyways, I interrupted you.
We are talking about a highly topical movie
Yes.
that you should watch.
Scarily topical and definite recommendations.
Strong recommend. So the film is
Definitely.
American History X. Our TLDR, go watch it. It's
Yes.
not available anywhere as far as I'm aware, but it's worth paying for. I'd say.
Yes.
I don't know if it's a film you'd want to watch more than once. Worth renting.
I think it would be good to watch it more than once. Not for it's a great movie, but because it's so...
I think put it in the same tier as Schindler's List in terms of
Yeah.
brilliant movies. In fact,
Yeah.
black and white as well, but they're tough. You know. So.
But for a very good kind of tough, you should put
Oh,
yourself
the
through
topic
that.
is tough. No,
Yeah.
the film is incredibly well made.
Mm.
So if you want spoiler free, that's all we're going to give you. The rest of it, we're going to get into spoilers and talk about why the film is brilliant.
Maybe it's not entirely black and white. There's a lot of black and white, but not entirely. So
Yeah,
if that
yeah.
puts you off, it's not entirely black and white.
But then you should have seen Schindler's List as well. That's another film. If you haven't seen Schindler's List, go watch it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you doing for yourself?
Harsh.
No, that's...
No, but it's a very
okay,
good
slight off topic here, but I understand people that haven't seen The Pianist because it's that film is there to depress you. That's just sad, straight up sad, and you watch it and you're like, okay, I'm now sad.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Schindler's List is actually, there's something more to it, while still thoroughly telling you that the Holocaust is bad, which I think is to the film's credit, because otherwise people don't watch it. And I think American History X is the same, in that there are moments of levity when you're laughing and smiling and stuff.
Yeah.
But the overall topic matter is horrible. So
Yeah.
I think that's why it is watchable. I've seen this film multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 5 now.
Yeah.
I think it's
No.
always tough, but it's
It's-
not bad.
I mean, there's the overall story is
Yes,
about
synopsis.
a family. Well, I guess 2 brothers, older and younger brother, and the older brother gets tangled up in a gang of skinheads, ends up killing 2 people
The film's set in LA.
in LA.
Yeah, in America. Yeah, he kills two black men that are trying to break into or steal his car.
Steal his car. He goes to jail for 3 years. Comes out, and then we kind of... So we have this history that gets portrayed, and then we have kind of like the current two-day setting when he comes out. With the younger brother who's also very close to being what he was before going to jail.
He's
so
following the same path.
following the same path, and how jail time has changed older brother's mindset, and that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's scary. I think one of the things that the film does really, really well is to have very smart characters. They are incredibly intelligent in the way that they can critically think about what they are doing, and I think that makes all the difference, because they have the capacity to understand what they're thinking and why, and what they're doing and why, and therefore also use reason to maybe question their own thoughts and actions. And I think that is so important.
100% in terms of playing devil's advocate here, but especially in America where there are a lot of race issues.
Yeah.
If you watch a film that addresses that and your point of view is portrayed by an idiot and idiots, you're just going to disregard it and be like, well, that's not me. But if you have...
And also it discredits their position as just dumb.
Yeah. But obviously people do have logical reasons for thinking what they think, and having characters that can argue for that logically goes to great credit to actually say, okay, even these very, very smart characters. They're going through this transformation throughout the film.
Yeah.
And if someone that smart can argue for both sides and land on, okay, anti-hate is the way to go,
Yeah.
then that's way more powerful than just saying people that are neo-Nazis are idiots, which is true, but how did they get there? You know, there's way more to it than just racists are racist.
I think what's so scary is that you can follow their line of reasoning of why they become racist, as in like, oh yeah, if these are all the things that you're being told, then I totally understand why they are where they are at. And that's what's scary, because you're like, damn, like there's a reason why all this rhetoric of like, say, in the Third Reich, why it worked and why there's still Nazis around. Like, why does it still work? Because there is like a logic that
I think even further than that, though, I'd say like there are some arguments presented in the film that I would agree with, like the firefighters. So basically, there's a case of should minority firefighters, they're getting in places that white people are getting cast away from, despite being less qualified.
Yeah, I think that's key. That's key. It's the dad of the two guys who basically also, like, in the film, it's like he incites the racist turn they're taking. Yeah. Which isn't like...
So he's not a full-on white supremacist, but definitely has a kind of a tilt.
Yeah.
And I think the line there is definitely in terms of qualification of job. And also what the job is. Like, if you've got... like, there's some jobs it just doesn't matter. Or universities. So, like, they'll take in a percentage of dyslexic students.
Yeah.
That will score. So, me, I'm dyslexic, and I probably didn't score great compared to other people that didn't get into the same uni I applied to.
Same goes for ethnic groups as well.
Yeah, and international students as well.
Yeah.
And I think for stuff like uni, it doesn't... Like, it's education. It's not the end of the world. But for things that are, like, life-saving jobs, like firefighters, I think there is more of an argument there. But I think...
To have the best qualified person for the job and not...
Yeah. No, like, that's not a place that you want to be ticking boxes.
Yeah.
But I think it's the jump in reasoning from there to the dad dies, and then the kid takes it all out on these race issues.
Yeah.
And then I think that's when you start to take other problems and kind of everything gets molded together. But I think it is smart to have things that you kind of agree with, and you're like, yeah, no, that is...
Yeah.
That's fair. Or they present this around, well, it's in the 90s, so Rodney King.
And
he's like, Ed Norton says, like, oh, if he hit someone, it'd be a different story in this car and ran someone over. And I'm like, I'm not sure I agree with that, but I know that public sentiment probably would. And that, it wouldn't be taken the same way. And I think, especially right after all what's going on at the moment, it's incredibly topical. And it's also a shame that it's so topical. Like, this film is 20 years old, and it's the exact same conversation.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which is just a shame. It means nothing's really really changed.
But I think it's also very brilliant. Like, when the movie started, and I was like with the younger brother and his, well, it's not teacher, it's his is it teacher, principal?
I think he's talking to the principal.
He's
Dr. Sweeney's the principal.
Dr. Sweeney. And he's like, okay, you've written this paper about Mein Kampf, and now you're gonna get special lessons from me, and we're gonna call them American History X. That's the title. I really had to think of my American history teacher in high school, because we always had like double periods on Monday mornings, and the first period was always American history, and the second period we basically always spent an entire 45 minutes watching The Daily Show.
Oh, wow, okay.
That kind of stuff. Basically only YouTube videos of current affairs, and the bottom line was, look what we're studying, 1800s, 1900s, whatever. It's all in the news right now.
Yeah. And
that's what's crazy in terms of studying history, learning about history, and then this film doing exactly that as well. Mad.
Yeah, I think
crazy.
The thing that I think is really eye-opening is the kind of turning point for Derek, the main character, Ed Norton's character. is kind of finding out that his jailmates are not really true believers at all.
Yeah.
They're just kind of, it's just to be in a group.
Yeah.
Not a social circle, but like, you know, you've got guys that have your back. And they're not true believers. Then that kind of leads him down the path of realizing that actually, okay, Cameron, the kind of head of the order, didn't actually serve any time, and that was the excuse for not getting involved. And he's just getting used by people, and it's not society, but it's just people using each other.
Yeah.
And it's that individual level that kind of makes me realize it's all superficial.
Yeah.
And it's...
Exactly, yeah.
And I think it's interesting that it's not like a revelation of... Because he's kind of mates with... Or he becomes friends with the guys folding laundry with.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not that's the triggering point.
No.
You know, it's not like, oh, you know, you can be friends with people of a different color. It's realizing that actually this whole race issue in itself is just a kind of constructed thing.
Yeah.
And I like that that's the thing. So it would have been so easy to be like, oh no, look, they're just people too.
Yeah.
Which of course they are, but that's not how you're going to change someone's opinion that's so extreme.
And it does, in that sense, refer to what Dr. Sweeney says at the very beginning, is like, he's learned this, he can unlearn it. 100%. And that's, very, very smart. I think it's cool because you definitely see how the way they use each other, it's like, yes, it can be very positive in terms of they have a group and they can defend themselves, like, say, in prison, or they have each other's backs, but also they completely use each other for negative things, like, oh, we're gonna jump, I don't know, destroy and rob the supermarket, or we're gonna sell drugs inside the prison and that kind of stuff. And it's very nice to see Ed Norton's character actually working through those things, and it's not like an instant revelation.
No.
You know, it's not like a super sudden change of heart, and you can really see how even afterwards he's still struggling with it a little bit, like just the way he walks down the street, and he's constantly feeling
dodgy. And the feeling that he has to go to the White Power party and say his kind of farewell in the first place is just like, there is a kind of part of him that is still his place. But I think also, like, in saying that it's not an instant change in terms of more of like as a film, it's very well paced. It takes its time, but the conversations are quick, or the arguments that they have are well spaced enough that it doesn't feel like the whole film's tacking. But every time that you kind of just get settled, there is a kind of inciting incident that kind of mixes things up.
I think the use of black and white for like the
past, where there is a clear racial divide in his mindset, and then everything's black and white. Just it's perfect.
It's quite smart. Like, it's good that that's like the reason why they do it. Otherwise, I would be like, it doesn't need to be black and white just to be like, this is what's in the past.
No, I don't think that's why.
No, like that would be a bad reason to do why, but to show that he has such a divided, like, such a
literally sees things as black and white, and then in the modern day where he's free and, you know, you can see things in color and the shades of grey between. I think it's very cleverly done.
And I think it's also nice that most of the story is told through his younger brother's eyes, like from his perspective, because he's very much at the point where it is basically decided, like, is he going to follow the same path, or is his brother coming out of jail just in time to somewhat prevent that. I really like the way basically that they have a discussion on the bleachers or wherever they are, and Ed Norton basically just tells him what he's gone through, and he also doesn't do it, and afterwards he's like, I'm not telling you what to do or what to be, to think, whatever. This is just my experience, and that has changed something in the way that I think. And I like that because it also shows how, like, smart and critically they think, because the younger brother then can actually go home and think.
No, I think my favorite quote is, because obviously, I mean, race relations aren't such a huge deal here in Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
To the same extent, but the thing I took away from it is more, obviously I can take away the race relation issues, but in terms of applied to daily life,
Yeah.
That group mob mentality that people fall into, and that quote that Dr. Sweeney says, like, has anything you've ever done really changed anything?
Yeah, helped you or whatever.
Yeah, well, is it changed your life, you know? And the answer is no. And I think that's such a thing for, especially at uni, people find themselves in these niches that are trying to make huge changes. And it's like, is it actually that? Is that the thing that needs changed to make a difference in your life? Or is something more systemic needed? You know, I mean, if obviously applied to the film, it's like, okay, is trashing a supermarket going to change, you know, illegal immigration in the US? No. You know, that's not what you have to do.
Or should do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I really like that kind of idea of, to actually do something, you need to do something far more than just surface level.
No, that's true. And I mean, that's also the kind of thing where it's like, yeah, you can certainly agree with what they think the problem is, as in, like, yeah, illegal immigration is a problem. Otherwise it would be legal immigration, because legal immigration is not a problem. Just the way you go about solving these issues is the question, and therefore it's like, yeah, did that thing actually make a difference? Did that help you in any way to live a better life? No. It actually led you to live a far worse life. All that kind of stuff. Yeah.
In terms of as a movie, I think the acting is all top notch.
Yeah.
There's no character, especially like there's one or two big name actors in this, and obviously they fall, like Ed Norton's incredible. Notoriously difficult to work with, but an incredible actor.
Yeah. I would say the only thing that I was like, was when he, like, the news, like, little clip of him right after his dad died, and
when he was
crying.
young as a kid.
Yeah. That was a bit off. Like,
he looks young in that though. Like,
yeah,
they do a really good job of making him look a lot younger, considering how buff he is in this movie.
Yeah, incredible, isn't it? He's really fit.
But yeah, like, I think everyone turns in a top-notch performance. The dialogue is all excellent. I don't think there's any bits where you're like, ooh.
No.
Yeah, like as a movie in terms of filmmaking, it's pretty perfect. I don't think the music's anything to write home about, would be the only thing, but it doesn't need to be.
Yeah, honestly, there's one thing where I was like, I would probably change that, or like, I'm not sure if that was the best decision, was when they both take down the posters.
Okay.
I don't know, I think it would have been a stronger thing if only the younger brother takes down, if only Danny takes down.
I like how it's kind of, because they've been, like, apart from when they very first see each other, since then there's been a kind of divide between the two. I like it as a moment of consolidation between the two of them, like, no, we're in this together. But I understand what you mean in terms of Danny's story and Danny's mindset. It's not as powerful, but in terms of Danny and Derek, I think it's better.
Yeah.
Than both do.
I think they could have had that moment still in that scene. Yeah. As, like, he's still there.
I also think it would have been hilarious to have him watch, like, his little brother try and reach the top pegs to get the swastikas down. He's like, but that, you're gonna help here? He's like, nah.
That could have been the thing, as, like, he takes all the posters down and then he can't reach the top one, and then he gets the help from his big bro. But yeah, I don't know, it's funny, it's like, that's the only thing I can think of, like, that's what I probably would have changed. Wow. Yeah.
I mean, the ending, swap it for a happy one.
Swap it for a happy one.
I mean, it's really sad.
It is sad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in a way interesting, because obviously it's somewhat of an open ending, in terms of the perpetuating nature of violence as well, because Danny kind of got out of the cycle, but not 100%, and so Derek is also out of the cycle, but not 100% because he's still.
I think Derek's strange. He's fine.
Yeah, no, but like the police still approach him and want his help. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, in
So
terms of
he's
you've been part of this world.
Yeah,
no, I understand.
you're not out, and so his Danny being shot by this kid, is that gonna be enough to maybe trigger Derek to fall back a little bit? You know, is it?
See, I think definitely the overall message of the film though, is that it's not enough for Danny to change his mindset.
Uh-huh.
You know, we see that, you know, is the end of his essay.
Yeah.
You've got to do, and even Derek to some extent, like you are still going to be approached and asked, you know, and you're probably from going through that, you need to actually do something if you want to change it.
Yeah.
Rather than just change. Especially, I mean, obviously for them, they've been part of the world, so changing your mindset is not enough.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone either needs to change their mindset simultaneously, or you're going to need to help other people change their mindset.
Yeah.
So if you're out there and you're a racist, watch this movie.
Even if you're not a racist, watch this movie.
I do think it should be required viewing.
Yeah, stuff like this. I don't know. I think...
Yeah, no, I would put this and Schindler's List as the two films that I want everyone to see.
Yeah, that is interesting because, I mean, we had stuff like To Kill a Mockingbird and... I don't know that...
I have that book. No, I've got...
Well, it's...
Looking at my bookshelf. Like,
it's also like racial history in America, but it's a very different kind of like... It's still... I'm not exactly sure when this is set. I don't remember.
This film or The Kill a Mockingbird?
To Kill a Mockingbird.
This is definitely more recent than that.
Yeah, it's certainly more recent. No, but I think To Kill a Mockingbird has definite flaws in terms of white savior and stuff. And I think to have American History X as a way more topical, recent...
Oh, yeah. And
way
also,
to address the issue is...
It's a white protagonist, which I think is really, really clever because it doesn't come across as like a propaganda film.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not that that's like a necessarily bad thing, but like Black Klansman has a message and it is trying to hammer that message home the whole way through. And I think it's a fine film, but it's a little, all right, sure, I get it.
I'm not sure if it's like to the extent of like people would... Let's say white people would not go to watch Black Klansman because they don't feel it like it's the right film for them.
Yeah.
I mean, that could surely be...
But it's the whole thing. I mean, not many people, but there were people that said, oh, you can't appreciate Black Panther because you're not black.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, but the CGI is awful. You know, I can still have an opinion on a movie, even if it's not made... me, but
yes,
I think
I could not appreciate Black Panther for things like its appreciation of African culture because I don't know anything about.
But no, this is the thing though. See, I think
about this. Yeah.
In terms of who the film is for,
this
film feels like it's for the people that it should be.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say it's for everyone because then I'd be endangering myself of running into the thing of like, just because it's white protagonist is for everyone.
Yeah.
Not gonna say that, but in terms of the people who have the mindset of this movie will be the right people to watch this film.
Yeah.
And make the change rather than appealing to non-racists in a film that's trying to change a racist mindset. Because you're not going to change anything like that.
No, you're just going to have everyone say like, yes.
This is the good message.
But we agree. You know, that's not, I think that's very true. It's not... The people who would watch this aren't people that already agree with the message. It would probably be people that disagree and should be converted or just think about whatever. Yeah, no, that's very true.
Yeah, I think that's really, really clever that this one does because like you're never gonna make change if you make films for yourself, essentially.
Yeah. Man, that's very interesting just in general in terms of art because a lot of art is like who's actually seeing this? Probably the people that know you and so in some ways agree with you. Like if I think about theater, there's so much theater that's very niche and only the people who are in that niche go and watch that theater. So like it doesn't actually do anything because everyone's already in that niche.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this film is very cool. And I have to say, like, I really struggle with thinking about how you can make those kind of people protagonists, because it's so, I mean, it's very touchy. Like, when I think about, there's no way to make like a World War II film from the German side and actually have it, like, there be protagonists.
Yeah.
But there must be some kind of way, not to say protagonists as in like these are heroes and what they're doing.
Well,
is good,
like Thanos is the protagonist of Infinity War.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he's a good bloke.
Yeah.
I think it's entirely possible.
It is possible. It's so difficult, and therefore it's really amazing how they managed to do that. Yeah, man, and it all goes back to, you have to in some way understand why these characters do what they do, and therefore not necessarily agree with it, but you are able to somewhat sympathize, maybe even empathize with it, and that's what's scary, but that's also what's so incredibly effective about this movie.
Yeah. And I think in terms of in danger of getting too political, but we are in a stage now where there is differing opinion on movies and art in terms of your own personal background.
Yeah.
So I think a couple, like Get Out is one that definitely, like, I'm not a huge fan of. I saw it, and I've been told by people when I say that, it's like, oh, well, it's because you're white, you know, and you can't appreciate whatever. And I'm like, no, I don't like it because of the hammed-in jump scares and stuff like that, like actual filmmaking choices, nothing to do with the cast. Or Ocean's 8.
Okay. I didn't like it.
I didn't like it. Oh, you didn't like it because it's all women. I'm like, no, I didn't like it because it's a bad movie. Like, it's a terrible film. And I think we're in danger of running into that. I think we'll take Black Panther, the people that heralded that for being the first black superhero film. And
which it is not.
It's not. Marvel's first ever superhero film was Blade, which is a black superhero.
Yeah.
And I think we've got to watch that we don't fall into that trap.
Yeah.
Of kind of see, like, that's why I was trying to like take the story, the politics out. Like, how good is the film for the film's sake?
Yeah.
And I think that's what this film does really well, and films like Schindler's List, in terms of the film is incredible. If you take all the subject matter out and you just have a rough story with the same actors, the same shots, dialogue, etc., this film is incredible.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important as well in terms of how to judge a film.
No, and I think that's also the way we should talk about these films. Is not like just because that's then very superficial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think your background can definitely influence your opinion on a film subjectively. Yeah. And that's fine. You can't really get away from that. But in terms of how good a film is objectively, if you can judge art objectively, of course, IMDb would like to think that you can.
I was just thinking about what I just said, and I think it's just, I mean, it's just more complex than what the story is about, obviously, and I think that's how we at least view films, and that's how we also evaluate, criticize, whatever. Films is it's more than just plot and story. Like, there's more to filmmaking, and that definitely goes into play if we enjoy it or not, or if we like it or not.
But I think that's why books, you know, books don't have that extra thing on top of them, and why the adaptation of books can sometimes be crap, because if you spend ages on story in a film, you lose track of the other stuff that makes a film good, like pacing, shots, dialogue, etc. And if you go the other way and you have a plotless film that's just pure filming crap, you lose the core. And I think it's having a perfect mix of everything that is what makes a film great. No, for sure. Yeah, top tier film. Top tier,
yeah, for sure. My God. Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely one of the few films, but there's a couple films out there, and it's just like you finish watching it, and you just got to take a minute. I feel like, yeah, I just sat there and I was like, yeah.
I mean, it's heavy
And
going,
that's-
but
Yeah, and I
I
think
don't
that's,
think it's a hard watch though.
no, it's not a hard watch, but it just, to me, it goes to show that I actually have to sit down and think. And that's incredible.
I mean, Jerry's
There
still
should
thinking
be-
about it. He's not spoken since.
No, but like for all the topic of the film, for it to be able to do that, to actually get me to engage in thinking about the topic, I was like, yes, that's exactly what it needs to do.
Yeah.
And that's what it does. So
Yeah. 10 out of 10.
Two
Not that
thumbs
we
up.
do ratings, but now we do.
yeah, absolutely, go and watch it.
Yeah, go away and watch it, buy it, rent it, wherever. Find it somewhere. And even if you're not a racist, we
Yes.
enjoyed it, and I like to think that we're not racist.
Nope.
You took too long answering that question.
No, I had to take in some air before I could make sound.
No, yeah. Just a brilliant movie. And it'll make you think as well, because like I say, it does toe the line between...
So if you haven't thought
Acceptable.
enough yet, today,
Admittedly, I have
this
avoided
week.
most of the news about... Well, everything, really.
right now,
Yeah. Like, I don't need to see the coronavirus death stuff. I don't
Every
need to
single
see
day,
all
yeah.
the riots that are happening around the world.
mm-hmm.
Because some of them are riots now. You know, and it's like,
Yeah,
it's just a bit heavy, you know, and sometimes you want that distance
yeah,
from with a movie and you go, okay, this is a real issue, but it's being portrayed by fictional characters.
Yes.
And it's just removed enough that you can think about a topic without being thoroughly upset about what people are doing around the world.
yeah, yeah,
Because I think that first step is changing your own mindset, or not, if not changing it, consolidating it, arguing with yourself, and finding
yes,
a good reason for believing what you believe.
yes.
So-
Absolutely. It's a good and it's a brilliant incentive. Like, go watch that movie. Basically, have that discussion with yourself.
Yeah.
Tell your friends to watch that movie, then have a discussion with them. And yeah, it's and exactly the way you say, like, it's a brilliant way to have that discussion without the immediacy and emotional weight of
the real world.
the real world.
Yeah.
And so to then take what the movie does and has done with you maybe, and then apply it to the real world and be equipped for that, I think is also very, very powerful.
Yeah, incredible film. If you like the movie, why don't you like this video too?
Hey. You are getting better at this.
I'm smooth as hell.
Next time, be serious about it.
I was serious about it. You are
Okay.
gonna like this film.
Yeah.
You're gonna like both. You're gonna like
Yeah.
the film, the video. You're gonna subscribe. You're gonna click the bell icon because why
And
not?
comment.
We post videos
If you have
pretty much
other
every day.
if you have other incredible movies that we should watch.
Yeah, must see movies. Leave them down below.
Yes.
If you've made it this far in the video, you should probably just leave a comment anyway. To be
Anyways,
honest.
just say like, "Hey, I made it this far in the video."
Yeah, that's a real test for people.
Hey.
When we get 0 comments, we're gonna look real fucking stupid. Right, on that bombshell.
Awesome.
Bye!